what they're racing with. That's showing the speed right now early on for William Byron. However, Dave, pretty good challenge for the second spot.
Eric Jones wants the runner-up position. He'll dive left-hand side on that long front straightaway. He'll take the second spot away from Kyle Busch. By the time they enter turn number 1, it's William Byron now by about 7 car lengths over Eric Jones.
Checking back on Denny Hamlin in the 5th position because Brad Keselowski is closing in from the number 6 spot. Keselowski takes a look to the inside, knows that the tunnel turn is coming, has to get off the accelerator and follow the tire track.
Denny Hamlin hangs on to that spot 4 now. The ongoing battle for 5th between Hamlin and Keselowski. Kyle Larson just a couple of car lengths behind them. The race for 2nd is on once again as Eric Jones leads Kyle Busch by a car length.
Couple of teammates in a pair of Toyota Camrys off turn number 3. Eric Jones out of Michigan, Kyle Busch out of Nevada, watching William Byron begin to disappear as they make their way back to turn number 1.
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd place machines of Jones and Busch now cooperating a bit, running single file, trying to run down the leader. But so far, William Byron is the class of the field. He's pulled away now by 8 to 10 car lengths.
No one in the top 10 in any immediate danger of losing a position, with the possible exception of Joey Logano. Logano at the tail end of this lead group of cars coming back into turn number 2. He currently has the 10th spot. He tries to close in a couple of more car lengths behind Daniel Suarez, who moves off the turn in 9th.
He is also doing a nice job fending off the cars behind him. They include Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott. Logano in 10th, a car length behind Daniel Suarez to try to take that 9th position away.
I'm trying to predict what they're going to do with this new rules package. A lot of guys said coming off of turn 3, that's where you really got to get that front end to turn and really stick, and that's what I saw with Eric Jones. He got underneath Kyle Busch a little while ago coming off of turn 3 and drag race him down the front straightaway. Boy, it just proved to me that turn 3 is so important to get down to that number 1 turn where you got to build all that speed and heading in that direction right towards you, Dave Moody.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they've said in the past, some of the drivers this weekend have said it's all about timing. If you get right up on the back bumper of the car in front of you entering the turn, you'll pick up a big-time aero push. So you have to try and massage the gap, manage the gap, if you will, so that you keep some air on the nose through the corners, Rusty, and then can pull that pass off down the front straightaway once you get a good toe going.
Field comes through turn number 3 and up off of the corner. Lap number 5 will go on the board. Keep in mind a competition caution scheduled for lap number 20 from the heavy overnight rains. Further back in the back half of the top 10, things have been pretty racy between Daniel Suarez and Joey Logano. They continue their tussle for position.
That's the battle for 9th and 10th place. Suarez has been feeling the heat from Joey Logano. Now has begun to pull away just a bit. Puts a couple of car lengths between himself and Joey. It's another 5 back to the Austin Dillon machine.
Yeah, and in fact, Joey Logano has managed to break away from 11th placed Austin Dillon. Just a couple of laps ago, Dillon was right up behind his back bumper, but Logano has been able to focus on Suarez and keep everyone else behind him off turn 2.
Still right there within a car length is Joey Logano on Daniel Suarez, but we've heard all day that it's going to be hard to make a pass, and so far unable to make a move on Daniel Suarez for that 9th spot.
And again, that was the battle for 9th between Suarez and Logano. Let's jump up now, pick up the battle for 5th. Denny Hamlin has it. Couple of guys want to take it away. One of them, Brad Keselowski. The other, Kyle Larson.
Keselowski right there now on the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. It's another 3 or 4 car lengths back to Kyle Larson. Hamlin a little bit wide on entry into turn number 1. Slips up again at the exit to the corner, but not enough for Brad Keselowski to take advantage and make the move.
Hamlin having to do some driving early on this afternoon at Pocono just to hang on to that spot in the top 5. Keselowski is still there, however, keeps applying the pressure and will follow Hamlin back across turn 2.
About 3 car lengths separate these 2 cars off of turn number 2 and up the short chute to turn number 3. Denny Hamlin hangs on to position number 5 and beginning to lose touch with Clint Boyer, who hangs on to that 4th spot, and 2 car lengths back to Brad Keselowski.
Well, we got a competition caution coming to lap 20, and guys, because of that, these drivers, to me, they're just kind of logging laps right now. They're trying to figure out what their cars are doing. Nothing exciting going on, in my opinion, right now. They're just trying to figure their old hot rods out and see what it's going to take to get them right. Right now, they got themselves kind of spread out, but I got to believe after that competition caution on lap 20, that's when things are going to start heating up a little bit. Although at that point they're going to pit, they'll probably put fuel in the car, and from there they're able to make it to the end of stage 1, Alex, and that'd be completely over. I do expect stage 2 to be a little bit different, though. The strategy should be different in stage 2 instead of stage 1 because of that competition caution.
Which is again at lap number 20. Stage 1 will conclude at lap number 50. Now, Jeff, we had 2 practices, and we covered them here on the Motor Racing Network at MRN.com on Friday. We didn't see anybody really get out there and mix it up in practice. Everybody essentially ran by themselves in practice.
Yeah, and that's uncommon because every time we go anywhere, it doesn't matter whether we're talking Kansas or Richmond or even Martinsville for that matter, with a brand new package, it seems like the teams took advantage of either practice session 1 or 2 to get together with either teammates or a group of other people, get out there, find out what the car is going to do in traffic. You're right. Yesterday, we saw none of that. Everybody on the racetrack by themselves.
Field continues to work around the racetrack. 8 laps are on the board. We've been clean and green since the drop of the initial green flag. Joey Logano up to that 10th spot. You know, he's been one of the big movers here in these opening laps, started back in the 16th position. So Logano up to 10th. So he's got a pretty good Ford Mustang up underneath him. But I would say right now, William Byron and that Chad Knaus prepared Chevrolet from Hendrick Motorsports, he's got things going the direction he wants them to go. Again, early in the race, just 9 laps in.
Here's a quick look at the top 10 with 9 laps complete. William Byron led the field to the green flag, and he's stayed there for all 9 laps. He's the race leader. Eric Jones goes second. His teammate Kyle Busch third. Clint Boyer in the Ford. He's fourth. Denny Hamlin goes fifth. Brad Keselowski sixth. Kyle Larson right now running 7th in front of Jimmy Johnson, who is 8th. Daniel Suarez 9th, and Joey Logano is 10th.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, you wouldn't spend more to get the exact same thing, would you? No. Who would? So when I tell you that Straight Talk Wireless runs on the same networks as the big guys, but charges you a lot less, you see where I'm going with this, right? Get America's best networks for a lot less and unlimited plans as low as $35 a month, all with no contract. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Only at Walmart.
Winged Nation with Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, and Ashley Stremme. Your destination for all things winged sprint cars. Each Saturday at 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. on MAV TV. Live at noon on wingednation.com and Facebook Live. Join us for in-depth conversations with drivers and personalities that make up the greatest dirt racing on earth. The Winged Nation Preview Podcast each Thursday previews the upcoming weekend. Winged Nation, winged sprint car talk covering dirt tracks all across America.
Pocono Raceway is where we're at. 10 laps are complete right now as William Byron continues to show the way. Again, competition caution coming up at lap number 20. Hey, NASCAR fans, get ready to show your passion on race day. Check out the great selection of t-shirts, hats, and die-cast for all your favorite drivers. Visit NASCAR.com/shop for all your gear today.
Leaders across the line, 11 laps complete. William Byron, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Denny Hamlin. That's your top 5 from Pocono Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The battle for the 2019 championship will be filled with twists and turns.
We got to kind of calm down for these speedway races because you can use the bumper, but you end up taking 10 other people with you.
Each weekday, NASCAR Today brings you the top stories in the sport.
That's a totally different experience for me and Kyle.
In the garage, at the track, or behind the scenes, NASCAR Today keeps you up to speed every weekday.
Go for it. What do we got to lose? I don't know. I mean, you might as well try it, right?
Looking towards the weekend? Aren't Thursdays a drag? Ours too. Get your weekly dose of nitro-fueled NHRA talk every Thursday on The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is Ralph Shaheen. Join Doug Herbert and myself as we talk with the biggest names, both past and present, to ever stomp down on the loud pedal. Top fuel, funny car, pro stock, motorcycles, you name it, we talk about it. Don't miss The Straight Line, Thursdays on MRN.com, iTunes, or wherever your favorite podcasts are heard.
Competition caution coming up now in about 7.5 laps. 12 laps are complete. At the front of the field, youth movement. 21-year-old driver William Byron leading 22-year-old driver, Eric Jones.
Yeah, William Byron is leading Byron, Michigan's Eric Jones. See what I did there?
I do see what you did there very well. Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Denny Hamlin, top 5. Then Brad. And Dave, we were talking just a moment ago that Brad has caught Denny. I guess he's actually just never let him go. The problem is he's there. He's been stalking his every move. He just can't get by. Why not?
Well, I think it's what we talked about earlier, Jeff, that when you get right up under the back bumper of a car in front of you, it takes the air off the nose of your car, and the dreaded aero push comes into play. I think Brad Keselowski probably has a bit quicker race car all in all than Denny Hamlin. I think the same thing could be said for Martin Truex Jr., who took the better part of 15 laps to make his way past Paul Menard. Not always the faster car goes to the front here. It's a very new technique. Try to find the place and the way to make these passes.
And Kurt Becker's position for the Motor Racing Network out there atop a billboard just outside the tunnel turn, which is turn 2 here at Pocono Raceway. And Kurt's a unique view because you're literally right on top of the safer barrier there and have the opportunity to really listen to the race cars. And working practice and qualifying here this weekend, a lot of the drivers said they would like to flat-foot it through turn number 2, the tunnel turn. Listening to the cars out there today, are they flat-footing it around there?
Well, I think they're keeping it at full song, and they're doing something else that used to you could not do at Pocono. This track, specifically turn 2, changed about 5 years ago. There used to be an 8-inch high curbing that bordered the inside of the entrance of turn 2 and the exit of turn 2. If you get too far to the left, you would bounce off that curb, shoot back up into traffic, and then everything would start to break loose. They took out the curbing in 2014. They paved the runoff area at the entrance and the exit of the turn. So what a lot of drivers are doing on this end of the racetrack to try to pick up some extra momentum and make a pass, they're starting to dip down below the yellow line with the left side tires and then try to zip back up onto the pavement at the exit of the turn. They've been trying it. So far, it has not paid off with a lot of change for position.
All right, that's turn number 2, the tunnel turn, and over in turn number 3, which is the flattest turn here of the 3 turns. Only 6 degrees of banking over there. A difficult turn over there, Kyle Rickey, but one that is very, very important.
It is, and it means that there's no flat footing it through this turn like we're seeing in turns 1 and 2. Drivers having to get off of the throttle upon entry into turn number 3 because of that limited banking, but they're getting on the throttle sooner to try to carry as much speed off of turn number 4. For the most part, everybody has been glued right to the bottom of the racetrack. Limited passing, except for Ryan Blaney. Obviously, he didn't get the memo, made a 3-wide move a couple of laps ago here in turn 3, moving around Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch, who has faded to the rear of the field. Other than that, everybody glued right to the yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack.
4 laps remain before the competition caution at lap number 20, and Steve Post, that might be a blessing in disguise for one particular driver.
Yeah, Paul Menard driving the famous Wood Brothers car, the number 21 machine. He has reported a slight vibration in that race car. He's not exactly sure what it is, and it's a constant vibration. So we're only 2 laps away from that competition caution. Greg Irwin, the crew chief, he can't wait to get in here, change the tires on it, and see if they can learn what the problem might be on Paul Menard's car. Not a bad vibration, just a constant vibration for Menard.
Well, he's not alone. There's a number of drivers that would like to get this over with, meaning the run to lap number 20. Guys that just do not appear to be performing very well right now. Ryan Blaney is among them. He is back in 20th. Bubba Wallace outside the top 20. Ryan Newman right now running 23rd. Ty Dillon running 25th. And how about Kurt Busch? Kurt is running currently 31st. Why, Jason Toy?
Well, a lot of what he's complaining about is what a lot of the other drivers complain about, just way too loose. And when he gets up behind another driver, it just wants to break out on him. So they're just falling back right now, trying to hold on as long as they can to get to this first stop here to make an adjustment. But loose.